We'd like to introduce then JD, Mr. Richard Hornshaw, and do we have Mr. Doyle on line as well?
You do. You do.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So who would like to take it away, JD or? Or maybe Richard.
I was just saying, JD, you need to unmute.
Yes, sir. I got it. Sorry about that. I was just trying to get prepared for what we're going to do. First, before we get started, let me talk and brag about my partners just briefly for a moment. So first, Andreas, thanks for setting up the call, and to all the leaders on the call today. As you can see, we're unshaven and working tirelessly to bring this opportunity to you. And to be quite frank about it, I don't have a presentation, in a PowerPoint to give you a perfectly worded script or anything like that. Most people that are with us today did not even know we existed 3 days ago. Okay, I think there's a handful of people that even knew about us a week ago, and the purpose for that is we did not want to have 1,000 or 10,000 people asking us every day when we were going to launch. And that's worked out really good. We are very, very close to launch and decided to let people join and start building out their team. We've got a very solid group of people with us now. And the next step is, of course, we will release the app to our team, to our group for beta testing. As I mentioned earlier, once we do that, the truth is the signals and everything are working perfectly. We just want the team to be able to look at it and say, there's a typo here, or the period needs to be moved over, or the color is off, but we won't have any doubt on the functionality, the trailing stop, and things like that. So let me just be very clear. We're not asking Andreas or anyone else to test our stuff. We just want to make sure that it's perfect, and we're opening it up like that, if that makes sense. Okay, so let me start with Richard. We're getting all kinds of messages here. Richard Hornshaw out of the UK, near London. He's a very kind, humble, gentle giant. I think he's 6'6", and
on behalf of the coordinators, we would like to thank.
So I think he's. Is that you, Richard, talking, or is that something else?
No, I think it was Wiley.
I got
okay. So the purpose, of course, is Richard is here as an enforcer, being 6'6", but also he's an expert at crypto. He's been trading for a while. He's been networking for longer than that, and in putting together a team, we wanted to ensure that Richard and is a very dynamic person, and he adds to our team immensely. And I'll transition over to talk about Doyle Schuler. I've known him longer than Richard. I've known Richard Doyle, I think, 10 years.
More than that.
Is it?
Yeah.
A long time. So we're both officially old men now. But a crypto expert in his own right, and just a consummate business person, but at the same time very kind and humble. Always can count on him to do the right thing. And that's, from a functionality standpoint, it doesn't matter how smart you are if you can't be trusted to do the right thing. And that's what I think the most powerful thing about this corporate leadership team is. You can count on us to do the right thing. Okay. Does anybody have any questions before we move on? I've got tons of stuff I need to mute and stop before we move on. Anybody have any questions in the meantime?
I think one question that people are asking is the registration of the company. Is it a UK company? Is it a US-based company? Or where are you guys registered?
It's UK.
It's in the UK.
It's UK.
Okay. Documents and all stuff like that. Can that be posted on the website? Or
what, sorry?
Can it be posted on the website, for example,
Yeah.
under a section called legal documents?
Yeah.
So that people don't need to ask for it? That would be perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. Should do that.
From Belinda, FCA regulated?
Okay, yeah, there's a huge, a broad spectrum of people that regulate crypto, even though it's still mostly the wild, wild west. The key factors in operating a company like ours is that the user has to maintain control of their crypto. Regulators, everybody loves that. Okay, that's number one. Where's the money? Okay. Part two, when you involve cryptocurrency trading, they want to know, how is that trade facilitated? Is it a bot? Is it a hedge fund? Is it the user initiating the trade? So best case scenario, again, for that is the user is in charge and they actually facilitate that. The difference is with us, it literally is broken down just to a single click.
So more or less FCA regulated, because you do have control over your own funds. You control whether you want to do the trade or not, and
Right.
it never leaves your possession, so to say.
Correct.
So
Wonderful.
That's right.
That's exactly
and-
why we wanted to set this up.
Yeah, and assuming registered with the company's house.
Yeah,
And
correct?
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. I think that was the questions we wanted to have here, the answers on the company. And if anybody has other questions, put them in the chat box. If not, JD, Richard, or Doyle, please take it away.
Okay. Let me get set up, and Richard, Doyle, if you guys can tell them some interesting facts or a little bit about what we're about in the meantime, or the simplicity, and I'll be right back with you.
No problem. Doyle,
Andreas, can you tell us, are the people, I'm seeing what, 50 people on, is that right?
That's correct.
Are most of those people in? Are most of them looking at it but not in? Or can you give me an idea?
Most of them are in, and what can we say? 30% are in. The remaining will probably come in after this call, because everybody has been waiting for this call. So the key leaders have been setting them. They're up, and they've been inviting their key leaders to this call.
Yeah.
So I believe that more or less everybody on this call is going to sign up afterwards.
Okay. I'll start, Richard, with just kind of a quick overview. We have been working on this for what seems like our whole life, forever. It has been a long track. And all of us, the three of us, have been, probably like everyone else on the call, have done crypto for a long time, and probably everybody here has been scammed more times than they care to admit to, right? And when we sat down and put this together, we're just like you. And we said, what would be the perfect kind of system company to put together? We wanted it digital. We wanted it in crypto. We wanted to, if the scams are on, one side of the universe, we wanted to be as polar opposite of that as we could possibly be. And we want it to be simple and super transparent and above board. And that's the way we designed it. So just to reiterate what you said, Andreas, 1,000% of your funds stay in your trading accounts. We have zero access to them. We're a signal company. The signal goes back and forth to the trading accounts, but no funds. So and some people have questioned, is it really one click? And the answer is yes. That's one of the biggest problems with trading, is having to give up your life and stay glued to your screens and can't even go to sleep because you have to watch this trade, and you don't want to get zeroed out. But you literally you click, it is set up. Stop loss, trailing stop loss is set up automatically. A 10 to 15% spread from the initial trade price to the trailing stop loss. So in the artificial intelligence behind it is programmed to find the trades that have the greatest likelihood of gain, but it's a free open market. So every trade won't be a winner.
Of
So
course.
if it were to go against us instantly, your downside would be, in most cases, would be limited to like a 10 to 15% downside. And the upside is pretty much unlimited because the trailing stop loss follows the trade up. Trailing stop loss either goes sideways or up, but never down. So kind of like a stair step. And you can just go up as high as it goes. And then at some point, the trade will start to go down. When it triggers that stop loss, it sells it automatically sells it. So you could be asleep, meeting, you could be doing anything you want. You click, take the trade, forget about it, and then it's on autopilot after that.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things I loved about it. The stop trail loss, that it follows the course, because you really don't need to do anything. And if the coin goes up 500%, you're actually making a 500% return on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the things I loved.
Yeah, and just to say, for Doyle's benefit here, because he won't admit it himself, he's done an awesome video demonstrating that. And if you've had a chance to look at it on the website, see, he explains it perfectly. And newbie, experienced, they'll all get it. All right, that's the first thing. The second thing, I'm based on what you've asked us, Andreas. Me and JD, me and Doyle are kind of, you were brothers, okay, but me and JD met in Destin, in Florida. I met him and his daughter. He met my partner and my son. I'm going to say her name now because someone might ask the question. I'm going to say Diane Wilson, my fiance. We were due to be married on the 1st of August, but that might not be happening because of something going on that we can't do anything about, okay? Now, I've seen 50 people on this. Can I just ask the 50 people that are on here now, who has handed their cryptocurrency over to someone else and lost? Can you just put a 1 in the chat box for me, please?
I can just say everybody.
Who's done it more than 2 dozen?
Oh, here we go. Thanks, Cheryl.
Everybody's
no, do you know, I thought everyone's just listening to us. How about we get them to join in as well, okay?
Of course,
definitely.
Yeah,
there you go. It just proved. Marcin, I hope I said your name. Great to talk to you. We were chatting on Messenger earlier. Hello, my friend.
Hi, Michael. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So 3 years ago, me and JD met. We got on really well, and we just started talking. And then we started doing more than talking. We started to work out how we were going to do this. Okay, and we worked, and we've got to this stage now. And guys, I'm telling you, the time, the effort, the same money as well, all right, that has gone into this to get to this stage, you know, and that's why JD and Doyle think they look older, but look at the state of me, all right? We've got to this stage now where, you know, I'm buzzing. I am truly buzzing. My partner, she's a little bit fed up now because I'm just on calls all the time. And she goes, when we can spend some time? I said, don't worry, we'll spend some time together.
It'll come, yeah.
Yeah. So we've got to this stage. And the reason we got to this stage was because we said, and this is our fundamental principles, we want a business where everyone controls their cryptocurrency. No one else has any access to it.
Correct.
We want to provide a trading signal, you know, based on various indicators. I'm not going to go into that because then you might steal our software. All right, to get the signals coming through, where it's as simple as clicking on your phone or a button on your computer, and that's it. Trailing loss. You've had this explained. The trailing stop loss follows it, and then, you know, it gets out when the price drops again. Okay. Does that mean we're going to get 100% success on every trade? No.
Of course not.
Okay. The reason I'm telling you that, because if we did get 100% success on every trade, we wouldn't be talking to you now. We'd have sold it for billions. All right. And we'd all be in, I don't know, somewhere really hot where the coronavirus can't live. Anyway. Yeah. So I just want to share a bit about me. So you know a little bit more about me. You know, we're all open to any questions that people want to ask. I'm looking at questions coming through.
Yeah,
and that's your job, Andreas. I apologize. That's your job to ask the questions.
I got the question, but thank you so much, Richard. It's a pleasure, because for me, and I believe for everybody on this call, it's very important to feel and see the transparency of the company and the owners. And just the fact that you guys take the time to be on this call and talk to everybody and ask the questions shows a lot, and it shows that you're here to support us if we are running with you. Now, I appreciate your time there. Now, a few questions came in, and just a quick one there. I believe, JD, this is your area. Now, I don't know if it's a bot, but the question is, how is the bot working on a bad market when all crypto is going down?
Well, the best thing to do in a down market is make sure that you're not losing money. And the functionality for that, of course, would be best case scenario to go into a stable coin. Okay, so if you're looking at something that's dropping in value, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, Monero, whatever the coin is, to put it inside a stable coin. So we take all of that into consideration. There's a lot of functionality that I'm not going to say it was missing in our system, but the crypto industry as a whole, just like gold and silver and precious metals, just like the stock market, New York Stock Exchange, and all the others, the coronavirus came in and wiped everything out. Right, everything dropped, and a lot of people that were savvy to, buy low and sell high, made a lot of money even in that downswing. So we take all that into consideration, and that actually caused us to go back and put some more code into this and opened our minds to, what if there's a Corona part 2, or what if the outbreak? All it takes is mainstream media to get on the same page, and they can influence the price of any stock or the Dow Jones or NYSD, crypto, precious metals. So there's a lot to consider even beyond just the data in the exchanges. So I will say that we are cognizant of that, and it is reflected in our code now to a degree, but it will be a bigger part in the future as we move forward.
So
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry to drop in. Will it kind of be like it will signal that it might be dropping, and then it will signal a trade, trade USDT.
It will be somewhere between that and then a emergency shutoff switch that would sell everything and put it back into a stable coin.
Oh, okay.
Like if you're pumping petrol into your car and things starts going crazy, you hit that button and everything stops and puts it into someplace safe. That's what we're looking
into a stable coin in case you see everything drop, just to protect it.
Exactly. So
okay.
Some kind of catch-all.
Very cool. Very cool.
I want to jump in and add one thing real quick for those who may not know. So there'll be a place in the back office where you go in and you enter the dollar amount that you want to place per trade, right? Say it's $20, $50, it's whatever you choose. You just enter that amount and save it, and you can change it an infinite number of times. So you could lower it at sometimes, you could raise it at sometimes, and all of the signals, depending on which exchange that you're set up in, you will only receive the signals that are produced in the exchanges that you have set up with our API, right?
Yeah.
The signals come in 24/7. You can take as many as you can handle, or you could, not. And if the market is going crazy and everything is just falling, through the floor, don't, when you're not sure and everything's crazy, just don't click, right?
Don't engage.
Much as you wish, you can click as little as you wish. And some of the trades, just also for what it's worth, some of them could take as long as seconds. You could click and boom, it could, go ahead and close out and sell. They could be minutes. And if it was a strange pair and it just happened to be in a flat kind of market, it could take days for that to sell. But as soon as it sells, then it goes back into your balance and your trading account, ready to be traded again. So,
Awesome, awesome.
All right, so let me show you guys exactly what we're talking about with some screenshots.
2 seconds.
We've got some, there you go, Andres is
Could I just,
excited.
can I just pump in 2 more questions here?
Okay, sure.
There's a question on if you do have any limits of the bot numbers of licenses that you want to release, or is there a number?
Yeah, let's, before we continue on, there's a couple of things that we need to just allow for some clear thought. Okay, what we do has nothing to do with what's been done in the past. It doesn't have anything to do with bots. It doesn't have anything to do with guaranteed income. You know, I get extremely, I'm not going to say agitated, aggressive against that type of company where people, you know, say, put in $10,000 and we pay you X amount every day. This is the evolution and way beyond that. You know, our customers never turn over their crypto. We will never ask for access to it. And as a matter of fact, we have a marketing video that we're putting together right now that it will make it actually very hard for other people to even operate that way. Because, you know, if we have the ability to fix crypto in MLM, I think we need to do it. And this is a better way to do it, and it will prevent and stop, hopefully, anybody elsewhere from getting scammed by network marketing companies that take crypto from people.
Yeah.
I can tell you this: we've got we're a registered MLM company, and the crypto that we've accepted right now, everything has been paid. All the commissions are paid. So there's not a single person that's in the company that is owed a commission that is still owed a commission. Everything is paid. So that's the way it will always be, and it's a better way to do it. So yeah.
That's what we like about it.
Yeah. So the question regarding the bots and the licenses and whatnot, it's way easier than that. A signal comes in, you push the button, it buys it, creates the trailing stop. I see Mr. Chris. Hi, Chris. Good to see your name. If the trailing stop closes all trades, whether in a profit or a loss. So yes, the trailing stop is created. If the price drops, it will sell at that lower price. It will follow it up. It's every single trade. And if it's flat and if the trade's not moving, you have the ability to sell it in a market order in real time. So if you look at your stats page and something's not going the way that you want it, you push the button and it creates a real-time market order for you.
Perfect. So I think it's very
Andreas, sorry to interrupt. Okay, just while JD's there, he said something there that I think is really important that we just explain that a little bit more. So it was on about commissions get paid immediately. So I just want you to think of that. Okay, $99 comes in, $70 gets paid. $70 gets paid out immediately before the company gets anything. Okay, I think that's really important. So people get paid first.
Yes, the comp plan everybody knows already. I think this is more about meeting you guys and seeing the software and just getting those questions, because we already been through everything about the comp plan, how it works with super affiliate, the 14, 9 levels, etc., etc. But I really truly appreciate the time that you wanted to do. Now, what I would like to do is that because I see a lot of question about bots. Now, we are not a bot, right? No. So what is this kind of a system? This is a system that you guys have developed from scratch yourself, right? Could you just explain a little bit about that so people understand that it's not a bot, it's not what you're used to?
That's right. Well, let me just show you. I'll share my screen now.
Yeah, please.
See if, so you've got it disabled. If you enable it for me, I've got it ready to go.
Hold on. Let me see. JD. I'm going to make you host, so you have to make me host back at it afterwards.
Okay. You see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is the front end of the current app that we've got, and it's off to the side. Can you see it all? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the functionality is very straightforward. Everything that we do to push a trade, not push a trade, to make our users aware that there's a trade to be taken, right, is the signals portion, right? So when you have your app, it will default to that so that it turns into just a single click, right? So a push notification, just like for most people receiving a commission, you get a push notification from whatever your wallet is. Or Facebook says you got a new friend, there's a push notification. So this is the app that controls that. It goes on your phone, it's Android, it's iOS, and this is the main portion for creating and taking trades. The stop loss trailer, the original buy order, all that stuff is there, okay? On that page, which you can set to a default, is the same image that we've got on our homepage, right? So example, Ethereum Zcash, right? This function, this little icon right here, when you click that, it executes your trade. It does the buy and creates the trailing stop, and then it puts that on your stats page, right, inside the app. So, is it complete? Is it pending a sell? Your percent profit, if it's sold, if it hasn't sold yet, that obviously would be blank. The trading pair. Can you guys see that? I'll zoom in a little bit. The time stamp, so you know how old it is, what you bought, right? The quantity right here tells you how many of whatever coin it was that you bought. So BTC Neo on that scenario, about 5.123. Was it a real trade? Was it a demo trade? The price that I bought it at, the price that it would need to hit before the trailing stop would cancel and go higher. And then if it's sold, you would get a final sell price and calculate at that time a percent profit, because it would have to sell either at the original stop or at the higher percentage stop. Once we have that, then of course we can calculate the percent, and then it gives you the timestamp of when it was sold, so that you know how long you were in that trade.
And all of this you can match on the exchange as well. You can actually see the trades being executed.
Exactly. So this is all real-time information that you would plug into what you see here on the exchange. So just like we had talked about, Andreas, on the page that shows the button, when you click it, it executes on the exchange in real time. So if anyone tries to rip off my HID BTC somehow, there's $25 in there. It's a demo account, so
it's okay.
Yeah. But this is how it works. So you click the button and it goes through these EMAs. It goes through the stochastic RSI and regular RSI. Okay, what we stand for is transparency. Our trades and our performance will be published on the homepage. There will never be an instance where we have a single person that says anybody took their money because of one click. Your trades, you will love them. You'll love the signals. And perfectly honest, I'm going to run through this little portion of how our system works with some screenshots. This shows people willing to buy. This section shows people willing to sell. And it does not matter what kind of indicator that you have, if it's EMA, which is exponential moving averages, or MACD, or RSI, they all really tell you the same thing. You want to buy low and you want to sell high. Okay, so these are the people that are willing to buy. These are people willing to sell. And because of technology that gives us the wonderful world of crypto, there's things called API keys, and that allows companies like mine to read this data, to read these charts, and then use calculations and algorithms to find sales, to find orders that you can buy, and we want the price to go up. And when it does, we can sell that for you on your behalf. So the signal comes through. In this case, it would be BTC USDT. you click the button, it places the buy order against the real-time market, and it sells it right here. It creates that sell with a trailing stop functionality. Okay, if we interface with the exchange, which currently is actually 18 exchanges that we have in our library, to place a buy order and the stop order all with that single click. Okay, so a professional trader would come in here and he would look at these numbers and say, all right, so my EMAs are crossing here. That would be a good time to buy. And I don't know if you can see can you see my, okay, so the lines merge here in an upward trend. And that would be a buying opportunity. So with the trailing stop, I'll try to zoom in specifically to this section. And anybody can Google EMAs and learn what I'm showing you right here. But when it crosses, when it crosses, that's the buying opportunity. I zoomed in way too far and I don't even know where I'm at. That's the buying opportunity. So there it is. And a trailing stop would have recognized that the price is up. Current price at this line, 6664.15, right? And then it starts to drop somewhere around right here. It would have transitioned from a trailing stop to an open order to sell. So you buy here and it goes up, best case scenario, it starts to drop and then it triggers that trailing stop and turns it into an active order to sell it. Okay. That's the functionality. We use more indicators than we technically need to provide that functionality that we just talked about. We just want to make sure that our signals are fruitful, that they work, and all of that we're transparent by putting it on the homepage. Okay.
Wonderful. So
yeah,
that's
the idea is to get capture a lot of little games, like
right.
for scalping. And if you can do that a lot, couple percent here and there, then it adds up.
Right. So the app and the algorithms behind it take into consideration things like this, spreads and candlestick patterns and all the stuff that really would take a very concerted effort just to memorize and understand exactly what all of this is. Not to mention emotions and fear and the
time.
The time. Yeah, the time is the biggest part of it. So if you have the ability, put it inside a single app that does all this for you with a single click. I've kind of joked with my programming friends and people that we work with. If we left it to them to design what we're trying to do, it would look like a normal exchange. It would look like this. And the simple fact is, we can display all that, but we don't want to. We just want to be a click and show me my profits and let me put my phone back in my pocket and I'll worry about the rest later. Okay? It's there if you want it, but you don't have to. And that's the nutshell. So as this finishes, I'll go through some of the other stuff we want to show. So team news, team podcast, that's not active. Video library, so you can send URL, a link to a compensation plan or how to do commissions. We posted in the link in the app. I had a really good idea. Earlier today regarding potentially the users funding their downline. So if for whatever reason they need help getting assistance, that the company's not selling Bitcoin at this moment, but if you want to provide your cousin or your neighbor, you can pay that on their behalf for you. And that's not here now, but it will be in the future. So it'll be an extremely simple app, but very productive, very efficient. Yes. So real quick on this is some functionality that everyone will need to be aware of. So the API key works in tandem with what's called a secret or a secret code. All right, so any exchange that you interface with, right here I've got listed Bittrex, Poloniex, HitBTC. There's more for Binance and the other exchanges. For US users, I would recommend getting Kraken set up, so go ahead and get that account set up. Even the biggest exchange in the world has holes of where users can access that functionality. So Binance has holes, Bittrex has holes, HitBTC has holes. So the objective is we want to offer an exchange that no matter where you are, if you can do crypto, then you can access one of our exchanges. Okay, so for the people that say, can I use it in my state? The answer is yes. Okay, it might not be the same exchange that your user in another state is using, but you will be able to work with OneClick. If your country allows you to access and trade and own crypto, then you'll be able to work with us. Okay.
And if it doesn't, you can always use a VPN.
Well, if
Or?
I'm going to officially say if your
Say
country
no.
does not do it, then abide by their rules and regulations.
Of course, definitely.
Yes. So all you need is an API key on your exchange, your API secret, and then some very important piece of customization. I don't know if you guys can read this or not. Okay, let me zoom in. So there's an amount to risk per trade in US dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so fundamentally, if you're taking a Bitcoin trade, you would type in $20 or $200 or $2,000. I would not dive into anything less than $10 US, just because we want you to have success. And if you cannot afford a $10 crypto trade, unfortunately, it might not be the best company for you or the best practice for you to trade cryptocurrency. Okay, having cash on hand for emergencies like coronavirus, etc. You've got to be safe with your money, and cryptocurrency trading is inherently risky. Okay, so please, leaders of OneClick, future leaders of OneClick, if people tell you I can't afford to trade, they can be a part of the affiliate program, but don't have them trading, mortgaging their house and, another thing with companies that guarantee doubling income and stuff like that. That's just not what we do. So let's be very frugal. Let's be very frugal and protect our fellow man and woman to make sure they're taken care of. So you just put your key, your secret, your amount you want to trade. The system takes care of the rest. When you click the button, it does the buy, the sell, and updates your stats page. There we go. That is OneClick trading system, the functionality. And as soon as it's ready, which, I love you guys, but every time someone asks, can I get the beta testing for the app? Answering that takes away directly from the time spent on getting it to you. So we're not open. We're letting people get set up. We're letting people pay up front. We're pushing the start date out, so everyone will have plenty of time. No one is going to get rebuild. All we're doing right now is a soft launch and finishing the app. Once that's there, the website and the app and everything will be available for beta. It will take live trades. And then, trust me when I tell you this, it will work perfectly. If we need to change some icons, some colors, or there are ideas to make it faster, better, stronger, more efficient, etc., then we go back to the code, adjust the app, and then we launch. And that's the plan.
Awesome. Now, is there sort of a timeline on when you're launching the beta?
Sure, and I don't mean to dominate over Doyle and Richard, so feel free to jump in at any time. But the timeline is literally today, tomorrow, the next day, we're expecting a version of the app that we can allow beta on.
Awesome.
Okay.
Really awesome.
Today's Thursday, so if it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'll release it. And I'm not ashamed to say this, guys, and I'll stand up and have a conversation with anybody about it. If it's not today, tomorrow, the next day, we're still working on it. This is my only function in life at this point, now that my daughter's moved out, is to make sure this gets up and running. So it is not months away. It could be a week away. I hope that it's not. I pray that it's not, but it's possible. But I would rather take a phone call from you saying, where is it, than why didn't it work? So we're just going to have to bear with us. In the meantime, if you're not comfortable with the soft launch and getting set up, I understand it. And I won't tell you that you should really reconsider that, because it's up to you. But we're not going to stop taking soft launch people anytime soon. And that's where we're at. So there's your timeline.